not. There we go. Let's try that again. I've been messing around with my web camera, and so it wasn't on, and my microphone was off. And my kids have been messing with my all of my knickknacks, and so I'm realizing that my clock from my front room is now sitting up. Everything's backwards up here, over there. So welcome, though. We're going to talk about something really cool that I love. I mean, I love everything I talk about, but this one's really good to change your perception, which I think is super important right now. But before we get started, if you are new, say hello. I love meeting you guys. Just say hi, tell me where you're from. Give me a little love with little your favorite emoji would be super cool. And then I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give this away tonight. So you want to enter to win. I love these products. It's my favorite company. In fact, if you want to join my team, you can just let me know. But I love these products. They're from a local company. And I'm giving one of these away at the end of this tonight. So how do you enter? You subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment on one of my videos, anyone that you would like. I have lots of them. And then please share it and then tag me, and I will be giving one of these away. Let's say I'll give you 30 minutes after this ends before I pick someone. But I have Open Heart or Release It. They are little drops made from flower essence that you can put right under your tongue. So Release It helps with grieving, processing emotions like that. And then Open Heart is for ability to love, suppressed emotions, empathy, and compassion. And I thought it's the holidays, so what a better time of the year to give one of these away. They're from Nature Sunshine. If you were interested in getting a hold of some of these yourselves, let me know. I will just send me a quick message, say Sunshine, and I will give you a coupon code so that you can get a discount yourself. Okay, perfect. Let's rock and roll right into this. Something super funny. No one teaches you how to do social media. No one teaches you how to be abused by people on social media. And I literally just figured out that my Logitech camera has a different setting, and it's kind of funny. So I will share it with you, as I am all about, laughter and being crazy. But here's the cool thing. So I go live all the time and I use my desk camera, and then the internet had been going funky. So I had to use my phone to make a couple of things. And then I've been making TikToks off my phone. And so I had someone tell me the other day, they were like, oh my gosh, did you get a job? And I'm like, okay, so no, I didn't. And then I did a session with someone, with one of my clients that I do sessions with all the time. And I was using my camera, and she made a comment about my makeup looking like really on point. And I was like, okay, obviously this is because of my phone, right? I'm using my phone camera instead of my camera on my computer. And lo and behold, like I just figured out that, yeah, so you can change the settings on the camera, and it was not recording in the whatever it is mode. I had it in like one of the lower resolutions. So I'm like, wow, you learn something new every day. Lisa, I love this for you. So guys, Lisa, has it been? Did we do your session a year ago? Right? Weren't we doing a live? Actually, I saw that in my memories today that I was advertising it, but 100% pain free from doing a session. Just so cool. We are doing one tomorrow. I'm going to do a session live. If you want to do, oh, good. Look here. I have the link right here. If you are interested in joining us, let me post the meeting invitation right here in the comments. So you can register for the Zoom. And then I will pick one of you and I will show you how this beautiful process works. And I'm very also good at explaining while I'm doing it. So it's very much a learning process. So there you go. There is the link for that. If you want to register to get on the Zoom call, I'll stream it live as well. But if you want to be selected, you got to be on the Zoom call just so I can chat with you easier through the, so I can ask you a couple questions or we can converse as we're doing it. So I'll do a live healing session, balancing session on someone on that Zoom call tomorrow. It's at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so you can hop onto that. So, but tonight, let's talk about perception. So perception is our projection and what that means. So your reality is based off of how you do things. So my reality, you're not really the same thing. And your reality is basically 0.006% of what is really going on. I'm going to say that again. Not 6%, but 0.006% of what is really going on. So, to me, when I first saw that statistic, I was like, that seems kind of scary. Like 0.006% of what's happening is basically really what's going on. So what am I doing? Living in a fantasy land? I mean, in a way, kind of. But here's the cool part about it is we get really stuck thinking that the way that things are, it's not changeable, right? I've been dealt this really, really ugly hand of cards. I've been put in a situation that's really yucky. I've made some choices that I'm in a situation that I can't get out of. But the thing of it is when you go back to thinking about perception is our projection, you realize this really cool thing. And that is, you guys, you can basically change your reality. Like your reality is so moldable. It is as moldable and as pliable as kids' Play-Doh. Honestly, it's that easy to actually change your own reality. Now, if you're like, what? No, not really. That's not true. Then it really is because that's how you're perceiving it. As another one of you might be like, oh yeah, really it is. Because you've probably done the process or you allow the process to happen. And so you believe in it. So let's talk about it. By the way, check out my shirt. Isn't it so cool? I forgot I was going to show it. This is a unicorn wrapped with lights. Of course it is. Okay, so let's talk about the process of how we can change reality, right? Because that's the thing here is, okay, great, cool. That's awesome. But how do you change it? So your setters is very unique, and your filters are going to be based off of the time of day, the location that you're at, your mood, how much sleep you've gotten, if you've eaten, language used, memories, beliefs, values, your identity, all those past agreements. So things that people have told you before. Like if you hear kids at school tell you something, or your parents, what your parents say becomes very, very much a part of your belief system, and you respect them. And so what they say really sticks. So you have all these filters. So that's why we all have such a different perception of reality, is because my filters are very different than your filters. And my filters are even very different than my kids' filters. They're very different than my husband's filters. Everybody's filters are completely different. So here we have this set of filters, okay? So your senses are out here collecting all this information. So the senses that you're, right? You see, you hear, you feel, you taste, you smell, all that stuff. So all of this gets processed, and then it goes through these filters. And then basically your mind decides that it's going to do a couple of three things with it. So one, if it's not important, it's going to delete it and out it goes. Now, I used to think that like if you weren't really listening, right, it wasn't sticking. But then I was watching this video and they were talking about this study that they did in like 1970 where they had two people sitting at a table across from each other, and they're in a restaurant. And the people are having a conversation. And then there's tables set up around the restaurant of all of this background chatting going on. And so they interview the two people at the table and they ask them to talk about ask them to recount what they talked about at the table. And, of course, it's not exactly what they talked about. They're giving like bits and pieces of their conversation. And I've seen this before. Like it's really interesting. When I was doing a class, they were showing like people that were at the same location and they would ask them questions about something that happened, and they'd be like, okay, so the main person that was involved in this, what color was their shirt? And one person would be like, oh, they were wearing a red shirt and a black ball cap. And the other person would get interviewed and they'd say, oh, they were wearing a like an opposite, like a black shirt, red ball cap is what one would say, and the other one would say a red shirt and a black ball cap, or someone would say, they weren't even wearing that, they were wearing a green shirt. Like, everybody's perception was so different, but they were all there watching the same thing. And that's because of the filters that stuff's going through. And so back to that study, they hypnotized the person, and then the person would recount word for word the conversation, word for word, exactly. But it gets even crazier, is because they could actually, hello, hi, welcome. They could actually hypnotize the person and recount the conversations that were being heard at the other table. So even though you think you're not picking up on that, and when I started looking more into that study, I was like, wow, if my subconscious is picking up all of that kind of stuff, that means I'm picking up stuff that is being said at the person's table next to me. That's a lot for your, mind to process. So when it comes through those filters, we're either going to delete it because it's not important. We're going to distort it, which means that we twist it to adapt to what makes sense to us. Oh, that rings a bell, right? Why people can have a different opinion off of the same exact thing. So we distort it so that it adapts more to us, or we generalize it and we turn it into something where we're like, knowledge of one thing applies to everything. So if I see a dog and I have it in my head because every dog that I've ever been around bit me, this dog's going to bite me, even if it's the nicest dog ever, right? It's going to go through that filter of where I've been bit before. So a past memory and some trauma. And I'm going to generalize that. I see the dog, and what do? I go into a state of fight or flight, right? I start freaking out about the dog. So that's how it works. So if our filters determine what we do or how we perceive something, then voila, right? We just start working on changing the filters, which is what I'm teaching you to do all the time. It's what you're doing if you book a session with me and we're releasing things from your subconscious, or you do a hypnosis session with me, we're imprinting positive things into the subconscious. So we're releasing out the negative and we're placing back in positive things. Okay. Now, if you're like, oh, kind of how does that work? So, as I mentioned, I put the invite. I'm going to do a healing tomorrow night live and show you how that works. But as far as hypnosis sessions go, we basically get together, we chat for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to record you a session where we're going to work on whatever issue it is that you have. And I'm going to record that positive imprinting so you can listen to it over and over again, and whenever you need to. And so it's pretty cool because we're basically just like if your mom said to you, you're just not listening. You never listen. You never pay attention. And that becomes a positive belief for you. And then or a negative core belief for you. And then later in life, you're like, man, I sure have a hard time paying attention and I never can seem to listen. Well, yeah, because your mom placed that into your subconscious and it became a belief for you. We turn that around, we release that negative belief, and we turn it into something positive. I am listening. My ability to listen is amazing. Stuff like that. And we use this specific set of words to imprint that into your mind based off of your beliefs, values, and identity so that we can change the structure of the neuroplasticity of your belief system. And it's really cool. So in the meantime, I'm going to give you a great way that you can do this yourself, working through some things. So I did this in a little snippet in my TikTok if you saw it. If not, I will tell it to you again. So basically you have a problem, right? And you can think of any problem that you're dealing with right now. So think about a problem. I'll give you a second. Think about a problem that you're dealing with that's like really weighing on you. Okay. I keep freezing up. Yeah, I'm going to say I've been having some serious issues with my internet. So if that is going on, then I wholeheartedly just tell you that such is life. my internet's struggling, probably because my kids are home, all of them, downloading thousands of things off the internet. So think about a really big problem. And then I want you to take your really big problem that you're like, ooh, that sits at the bottom of my stomach. It feels really yucky. And then I want you to now think of that same problem, and I want you to think of it as a challenge. Think of it as a challenge. Now, how did that just change for you? Because when I say the word challenge, the thing that was a problem, so problem for me doesn't have a solution. It's something that I'm stuck in and there's nothing I can do about it. A challenge then starts resonating that I have possible solutions and I can then make changes, right? So it goes from a problem to a challenge, and that becomes easier to deal with. Now I want you to take that challenge and think of it as an opportunity, because the word opportunity opens it up even more and actually goes from being really negative to, wow, now my problem is actually positive. So I'm going to repeat that. Start at a problem, change it into a challenge, and then change it into an opportunity. Don't skip the step. You can't go from a problem to an opportunity because that's too big of a gap for your brain and it doesn't like it and it's too much. So start with the problem. Think of it as, how is this challenging me and how can I overcome that challenge, and then switch it into an opportunity. Okay. All right. So hopefully I'm not freezing up too much and you got some of that. Otherwise, we'll just do this again, maybe next about the same thing. So is what I'm going to leave you with, guys, is nothing is permanent. Changing your perception. Changing your perception is simply how you change reality, and it really is that simple. So think about those things. Your brain's either going to delete, distort, or generalize it when things go through your filters. So think about what your filters are, because filters are easily replaceable, right? We can just pluck one out, put one back in. And then when you get to an issue, change the reality of it. Problem, challenge, opportunity. All right, there you go. You have about 30 minutes into which you can tag any of my videos as a reminder, because I'm going to give away one of these. So I'll give you about 30 minutes. If you would like to enter, you still can. You're just going to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure that you comment on one of the videos, or you can comment on this video that you're watching, share and tag someone, and then I will message whoever we're going to give one of these away to. All right, guys, don't forget, you can also register for the free healing session tomorrow. I will pick someone from the Zoom calls. So I will also stream it. Check it out. All right. Thank you and have a fantastic, beautiful Monday.